Hello traders, this is Rich from TradeSight. This is a look at our proprietary scans of the market leading stocks. This is going to be for the coming session of Tuesday, July 30th, 2013. Looking at the NASDAQ patch, you can see that we've got a fair amount of downside CPS conditions stacked up here. We do have some offsetting buy signals, but we definitely have a downward bias here today. I want to focus your attention on a couple of things where we have some deviations. Got a volume deviation here in the shares of SanDisk. We did short that today and had a nice short scalp in that. So keep an eye on that for pause tomorrow, because we've got the differential buy signal and then perhaps a continuation a little bit lower to follow on. One thing on the buy side, Baidu's got a CPS condition here to the upside. It's 2.5% above the day's open on some fairly decent volume. Keep in mind here that we also have a fair amount of volume deviations to the downside, where we're just seeing just some fairly weak volume as we're just slugging along through here, the heart of summertime trading. When we look at the financials, that condition is even more persistent here, more present. Very little action here. Goldman Sachs is the only one that has a shot here today of not having some very weak volume. Got a fair amount of signals here, but they're pretty much balanced off, and we don't have a bias either way. Moving on to the energy names. Energy names universally weak here. We've got mostly downside CPS conditions. RIG does not have a signal, but has very good volume. So also carry that over for the list tomorrow. Weakest name right now is PBR. Moving on to the generals, definitely have a downside bias here. There's only one buy condition. It's a differential buy. But again, this is all on mostly fairly light volume. We've got a little bit of time now before the end of the day. Looking at the housing names, not too much here. They really got beat up last week. We don't have a whole lot of conditions that'll present signals for today, but we do have very weak trading again in Hovnanian HOV, 2% below the day's open. Transports, more like the generals here. We're fairly weak here across the board. And finally, looking at commodities. Commodities, kind of a mixed bag today. We don't have any signals. A little bit of a safe haven going on. A lot of the precious metals. Gold's up about $7, and we're seeing that some of these names are trading okay. They're definitely not as weak as the overall market. Mosaic has a differential sell signal. It's having a bounce day today after getting beat up last week fairly well. So I definitely keep an eye on that for continuation to the downside. Mosaic, Monsanto, and even Potash. Potash is 2% above the day's open on some decent volume, but these things may be more of a bounce mode than a reversal mode at this point. All right, traders, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for TradeSight.